Rookie quarterback Jackson Dart will make his debut against the surging Los Angeles Chargers. Green Bay Packers edge rusher Micah Parsons makes his highly anticipated return to Dallas. And the Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs, two of the league's most unlikely 1-2 teams, will face off in an AFC showdown. Let's get into the full Week 4 slate, which culminates with two Monday Night Football matchups. One between the New York Jets and Miami Dolphins on ESPN, and the other between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Denver Broncos on ABC. Hey there, welcome everybody to the Week 4 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined this evening by Michael Bullock. Unfortunately, for the second straight night, we will not have good old MF Michael Fletcher with us. MF is out once again due to work commitments beyond his control, but we are hopeful that he will be back with us tomorrow night hold on. Yes, okay. I can confirm MF will be back with us tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk. And I will have that I'll have that future content at the end of the show. So but yes, I can confirm MF will be back with us tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk. So that's good news to hear. All right. We got a lot going on right now. In college football, Florida State leads Virginia 38-35 in overtime. So we are definitely keeping an eye on this for sure. And a lot going on in the world of football, a lot going on in the world of baseball, a lot going on in professional wrestling. And man alive, what a wild and crazy night this has been. And it's only going to get crazier going forward, let me tell you. So anyways, let's get into Week 4 of the NFL docket. It started last night, Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime Video. The Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals, State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. And it was the Seattle Seahawks winning over the Arizona Cardinals 23-20. Seattle improves to 3-1 on the season. Arizona drops to 2-2. Seattle next week will be going back home, and they got another tough opponent coming in. A potential game of the week, if you think about it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming to town next week. So, yeah, that's going to be a good one. And the Arizona Cardinals, they'll also be going home to Arizona, and they're going to be hosting the Tennessee Titans. And we'll address both of those games next week. So, break down the numbers quick. For Seattle, it was Sam Darnold, 18-26, 242 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. Kenneth Walker III, 19 carries for 81 yards. Zach Charbonnet, 39 yards with a touchdown. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 4 catches for 79 yards, but it was A.J. Barner who had the touchdown catch, 3 for 32. Defense recorded an interception. Ernest Jones IV had an interception, and Kobe Bryant had an interception as well. 2 interceptions, along with it looks like 6 sacks. So they had 6 sacks and 2 interceptions. And Florida State and Virginia are going to double overtime. They traded field goals, so they're going to a second overtime, tied at 38. Man, what a game. All right. Yeah, 6 sacks for the Seahawks defense. Uchenna and Wosu had 2 sacks. Leonard Williams, 1.5 sacks. Drake Thomas with a sack. And Devon Witherspoon, Ernest Jones, the 4th, and Josh Joby had half a sack apiece. So a great night for the Seattle defense. 6 sacks and 2 interceptions on the night. For the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, 27-41, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he threw 2 interceptions. And Murray also led the team in rushing, 5 carries for 41 yards. And, of course, we can't forget their star running back, James Conner, done for the season after a after a serious injury last week against San Francisco. Marvin Harrison Jr., 6 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. Amari DiMercado had a touchdown as well, 2 for 13. Defense recorded, looks like 3 sacks on the night. Calais Campbell, Darius Robinson, and Josh Sweat with a sack each. And that is that. It looked like Seattle was going to run away with that game for a good while, but Arizona, I mean, Seattle got a touchdown, but it was called back because of a holding penalty on Jackson Smith and Jigba. And then they went for a field goal. They missed it, and that opened the door for Arizona to come all the way back, and they did. But they left a decent amount of time for Seattle. You're thinking 28 seconds. I don't know what they can do, but somehow, some way, they managed to get that ball downfield, and they got it. And they got it in line for a field goal, and it just snuck inside the upright, and Seattle with the win, 23-20. Big win for Seattle. Arizona, they've now lost 2 in a row after a 2-0 start. Both on walk-off field goals, losing at San Francisco and then at home to Seattle. I think Arizona will get it right next week with Tennessee coming in. I think Arizona should right the ship. But Seattle, though, they got a tough one. I mean, Tampa Bay, that is going to be a tough game for them next week, even though they're at home at Lumen Field. But in long story short, it went from a dud of a game to a 5-star instant classic right before our very eyes, and a very exciting game, and the right team won, and that's all there is to say on that. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your quick thought on last night's Thursday Night Football. Seattle defeating Arizona 23-20. Looked like Seattle was going to run away with it. Arizona tied it, but Seattle still somehow found a way to get it done.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, Seattle looked like it was going to be an easy night for them, but yeah, Arizona, they came back and they tied the game, and you're thinking, like, looks like we're going to overtime unless something real crazy happens. But in that short amount of time, the Seahawks were able to get the ball down into field goal range, and Myers just barely just snuck it through. And yeah, I mean, all I can say is, I mean, a big win for Seattle. I mean, yeah, and like you said, Arizona's going to right the ship next week against Tennessee, but yeah, Seattle's got a tough one against Tampa Bay next week, so we'll see what happens. So nothing more to say except let's get on to the rest of week number 4.
Oh, Virginia has scored a touchdown, so that means Florida State's going to have to answer back with a score of their own. So we'll keep an eye on that. So getting into the Sunday portion of the Week 4 schedule, and we started off with our first international game of the season. And get this is our game of the week right here. This is the game that MF and I would have done, but so Bullock's going to have to pick up that slack in just a moment since MF is not here tonight. We decided to cross-flex this as our top game of the week, and here it is. 9:30 a.m. kickoff on the NFL Network. It will be the Minnesota Vikings squaring off against the Pittsburgh Steelers from Croke Park in Dublin, Ireland. Exclusively on NFL Network, and it will be Joe Davis, Greg Olson, Pam Oliver, and Jamie Erdahl. And I want to let you fine folks know that for those of you who don't have the NFL Network, this is only for the people of Minnesota and Pittsburgh. In Minnesota, if you don't have NFL Network, you can watch the game on your local Fox affiliate. That's KMSP Fox Channel 9 in Minneapolis. For the people of Pittsburgh, you can watch it on your ABC affiliate, WTAE ABC Channel 4 in Pittsburgh. So for Minneapolis, watch it on your Fox affiliate, Pittsburgh, you can watch it on your ABC affiliate. So that's the story there. Spread favors Minnesota. Minnesota opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. And the series history favors Minnesota, regular season wise, 10-8. Their last meeting was 2021 in Minnesota. Minnesota winning a high scoring game, 36-28. Pittsburgh's last win over Minnesota was 2017 in Pittsburgh, 26-9. And believe it or not, this is actually their second international game. They played an international game in 2013 in London, Minnesota winning that one 34-27. So here we go. We're starting off with the main event, our main event anyways. So here we go. Pittsburgh's defense has allowed a league-high 32 plays of at least 20 passing yards or 12 rushing yards this season. The Vikings enter Sunday's matchup with just 8 plays of 20 yards or more, but they return a major target in wide receiver Jordan Addison, who served a 3-game suspension. Pittsburgh, though, could also get help in the secondary with a potential return of safety DeShon Elliott and cornerback Joey Porter Jr. with a hamstring. DeShon Elliott had a knee, who both haven't played since week 1. The Vikings had a chance to sign Aaron Rodgers, who instead joined the Steelers after the Vikings committed to giving J.J. McCarthy first-team snaps throughout the spring and summer. McCarthy will miss his second consecutive game because of a sprained ankle, and Carson Wentz will start. The question the Vikings asked themselves this offseason was if they would be better with McCarthy on a rookie contract and a backup like Wentz, whose cap number is $1.2 million this season, or Rodgers at $14.2 million. Sunday's game will be a litmus test for that question. The Vikings have allowed an average of 141.3 passing yards a game, which is the third fewest in the league. On the other hand, the Steelers are 24th in the NFL in passing yards a game at 184. The FPI gives the slight edge to Minnesota, 58% going with the Minnesota Vikings. And I'm actually going to go with the Minnesota Vikings to win this game as well. I'm going to go 24-20. Minnesota defeats Pittsburgh in our game of the week. So when it comes to our side of the ledger anyways. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, you got some big shoes to fill here since MF's not here. He's the Phil Simms to my Jim Nance. You're the Tony Romo to my Jim Nance. So our game of the week, starting it off, Minnesota and Pittsburgh in Dublin. And let's do it for MF. Do that thing I like. Hello, friends.
Yeah, like you said, this is the first international game of the year. And what better place than in Dublin, Ireland? And I should know about it from having been there back in 2003. Yeah, it's a nice place. And, yeah, you got two really good. I mean, obviously, Pittsburgh coming off of a huge victory over the Patriots. Yeah, Minnesota, I mean, obviously they need a bounce back win, but obviously, of course, no JJ McCarthy in this one. So
no, don't forget Minnesota smashed Cincinnati last week. Let's not forget that.
Minnesota smashed Cincinnati. So yeah, that was a big win for them. So can they continue that momentum from last week? I mean, we'll see. Oh man, this is tough. I mean, part of me wants to go with Minnesota, but I don't know. I got this feeling about Pittsburgh. So I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna do it to the Vikings again, especially. I mean, after he did it to them so many times when he was with the Green Bay Packers, and I think he's gonna do it to them again. So I got the Pittsburgh Steelers winning this one, but don't be surprised if Minnesota definitely makes a game of it. So there's really nothing more for me to say. It is yours for you.
All right. So now we get into the 1:00 games now. And we started off with the game that came in. I believe we put this as our number 4 game of the week on our side of the ledger. It is the Washington Commanders squaring off against the Atlanta Falcons from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. And on the call for this one, it will be Iron Eagle, J.J. Watt, and Evan Washburn. And Atlanta opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. Series history, regular season, it favors Washington 18-10 with a tie. Commanders have won 3 straight meetings, including last year a wild 30-24 overtime win in Washington for the Commanders. They also won their last meeting in Atlanta 2023, 24-16, Washington winning. Atlanta last beat Washington in 2018, but that was in Washington. Their last home win against the Commanders was 2015, a 25-19 overtime win. So Michael Bullock, Washington and Atlanta coming in as our number 4 game of the week, and for this main reason, Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin both out for Washington.
Yeah, that's going to be that's going to be a very tough one for Washington. I mean, no Jaden Daniels and now no Terry McLaurin. That could really affect them offensively, and maybe this is a huge opportunity for Atlanta to really take advantage of this situation. So I can't believe I'm doing this for you, but I'm actually going to go with the Atlanta Falcons to win this one. I mean, I just think it's going to be tough for Washington when you don't have 2 of your best offensive players on this team. So I'm going with Atlanta to win. So it is yours for you.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely is a tough one to call now, especially with this injury. With a banged up offense, missing multiple starters, perhaps as many as 5 on Sunday, Washington's defense needs to take the lead. And that means stopping Falcons running back Bijan Robinson at all costs. Washington ranks 12th in rushing yards allowed a game at 100.7 and 8th in yards a carry at 3.7 after investing in bigger linemen and more depth up front. But stopping Robinson will prove challenging. Commanders defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr. said, "I see no weaknesses for the guy. He can do it all. Run inside, outside, can catch. He does it all very, very well." Is this a must-win game for the Falcons? Maybe not, since it's only week 4, but it is a must-look competent game for them. Specifically, their offense needs to step up after last week's 30-0 beatdown at the hands of the Carolina Panthers. Coach Raheem Morris is not too worried about Atlanta showing up this week. He said that due to quote-unquote human nature, there's more urgency after any loss, and particularly a loss like that. Commanders quarterback Marcus Mariota made 13 starts for the Falcons in 2022, going 5-8 with 15 passing touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He was replaced by then rookie Desmond Ridder for the final 4 games of the season. And keep in mind, this set of notes was released very early this morning. The FPI gave Washington a 59% chance of winning this game, but now that we know that Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin are both out, I got to go with Atlanta now. I think Atlanta finds a way to win this one. I'm gonna go 23-17. Atlanta defeats Washington. I was initially gonna go with Washington, but now that we know that Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin are both out, got to go with Atlanta now. 23-17 Atlanta over Washington. Moving on to our next matchup. Also on our side of the ledger, this game came in, I believe this one came in at number, I want to say 7. And we have a final, ladies and gentlemen. The Virginia Cavaliers have upset the Florida State Seminoles 46-38 in 2 overtimes. Bring on the Stampede. And we got a Stampede in Charlottesville, Virginia tonight. Wow, what a win for Virginia. Virginia upsets Florida State. I think Virginia will be in the rankings next week. I would not at all be surprised if that's the case, but what a win for Virginia. Unbelievable. All right. Moving on to our next game here. This one came in as our number 7 game of the week on our side of the ledger, as it will be the New Orleans Saints squaring off against my team, the Buffalo Bills, Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. And believe it or not, it's the man who actually serves as the preseason voice of the Buffalo Bills for their preseason games. That would be Andrew Catalon. It'll be Andrew Catalon with Charles Davis, Jason McCourty, and AJ Ross. And Buffalo opening up as the biggest favorite of the week. Buffalo is opening up as a 15.5-point favorite. The series history, that favors the regular season series actually favors New Orleans 7-5. But the last meeting, of course, I remember it vividly. It was Thanksgiving night. It was Thanksgiving in 2021. Buffalo went into the Superdome and absolutely smashed New Orleans 31-6 in the Superdome on Thanksgiving night in 2021. The last meeting in Buffalo was 2017, and New Orleans, they smashed Buffalo 47-10. Believe it or not, the Buffalo Bills have not beaten the New Orleans Saints at home since all the way back in 1983, if you can imagine that. 22-19. No, I'm sorry, 27-21 was the final in 1983. So there isn't anything else left to say. Let's dive on into this matchup. Saints coach Kellen Moore expressed his confidence in starting quarterback Spencer Rattler following the loss to the Seattle Seahawks. Moore indicated the Saints wouldn't be following the Giants' lead in switching quarterbacks anytime soon, and said Rattler realizes how much confidence the team has in him. He thinks Rattler, who was 0-9 as a starter dating back to last season, is headed in the right direction. Moore said it's frustrating because Spencer hasn't been able to get a win in this league, and he's earned it, and he deserves it. He's done so much good. Despite sitting on the largest point spread of the season per ESPN bet, the emphasis from the Bills is that they are treating Sunday's game like any other, as they should. Quarterback Josh Allen said he expects the Saints to have their ears pinned back. They want to win as badly as anybody in the league right now, and again, there's no easy games in this league. The Bills have a 13-game home winning streak in the regular season, but will be without defensive tackle Ed Oliver, linebacker Matt Milano, and right tackle Spencer Brown due to injuries. The Bills have gone 8 straight games without a turnover, including the playoffs, which is tied with the 2024 Kansas City Chiefs for the longest streak with 0 turnovers since 1933. Buffalo is an overwhelming FPI favorite. I think they're the biggest FPI favorite of the week. 81% going with the Buffalo Bills, and I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills to win this game as well. I'm going to say final score is going to be 35-14. Buffalo keeps it going, takes care of New Orleans, and that'll before we set up for that big rivalry collection showdown with the New England Patriots next Sunday night. So Buffalo keeps up the momentum, and I think they should take care of their business here. So 35-14, give me Buffalo all over New Orleans. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, number 7 game of the week. Buffalo's got the momentum. They got the largest favorite of the week. I don't know what else there is to say, except I think they'll keep. There's no. I don't think there's any doubt they keep the momentum going.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to keep the momentum going, and yeah, they're going to put a holiday hamming on the Saints here. So yeah, give me the Buffalo Bills. They're going to be all over the New Orleans Saints here. So let's move on to our next 1 o'clock matchup.
And we switch over to the Fox side of the ledger, as it will be a cross-flex game for them, as it will be the Cleveland Browns squaring off against the Detroit Lions from Ford Field in Detroit. Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, Megan O'Leary, They will be on the call. Detroit opening up as the second largest favorite of the week. Detroit opening up as a 10-point favorite this week. And the series history between these two legendary franchises, regular season wise, it is all Detroit, 16-5 in favor of Detroit. However, Cleveland won the last meeting between these two in 2021, Cleveland winning in Cleveland 13-10, snapping a 4-game losing streak to the Lions. Last meeting in Detroit, 2017, Detroit won 38-24. The Cleveland Browns have not won in Detroit. How's this? 1983 as well. 1983, that's the last time the Cleveland Browns won a game in Detroit. That was at the old Pontiac Silverdome, of course. 31-26, the final there. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions, Detroit opening up as the second largest favorite of the week at a 10-point cushion.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, Florida, I mean, we said that last week when it came to Green Bay, and look what happened last week. Cleveland pulled off the upset. Do I see Cleveland doing it 2 weeks in a row? Yeah, I don't see it happening here. I mean, Detroit's a really good team. I mean, yeah, I think at the end of the day, they're gonna take care of their business. They're gonna handle the Cleveland Browns and not overlook them like the Green Bay Packers did. So, give me Detroit to win. It's yours.
And let's not forget Detroit coming off that huge win in Baltimore on Monday night. So, no doubt about it. So, all right. Cleveland's defense has a claim as the league's best, allowing the fewest yards in the NFL per game at 204.3. However, the Lions' offense, which ranks second in scoring and first in EPA per play, will be Cleveland's biggest test to date. The Browns will be on alert for everything, from Detroit's use of motion and trick plays to its fourth down aggressiveness. Defensive coordinator and former Lions head coach Jim Schwartz said, runs, play action, screens, they're probably the leader in the NFL when it comes to combining all three of those things on first and second down. We'll have to take away what they do best. Every play is going to be a battle. After their first win at Baltimore as an organization, the Detroit Lions are looking to avoid a trap game against the Cleveland Browns. Detroit has a league-leading 11 red zone touchdowns this season, while its defense sacked Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson 7 times, if you can imagine that. The Lions hope to continue that output on Sunday. Aiden Hutchinson said, I can understand emotions being high, but ultimately every game in the NFL takes a certain amount of focus and a certain amount of drive and willingness. And it's like if you don't show up, you're going to get your butt kicked, and we all know that. Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown has 450 catches in 69 games since he entered the league in 2021, the most in the NFL over that span. Since the AFL-NFL merger in 1970, only 2 players have more receptions in their first 70 career games. Michael Thomas with 510 from 2016 to 2020, and Justin Jefferson with 451 from 2020 to 2024. Another very high FPI, Detroit opening up with a 78% FPI, 78% going with Detroit, and I'm going to go with Detroit to win as well. This is going to be a beatdown here. I'm going to say 38-7, Detroit all over Cleveland. So with that being said, we move on and we go back to our side of the ledger, as it will be our Zonk. We got the Zonk game of the week right here. The Tennessee Titans squaring off against the Houston Texans from NRG Stadium, formerly Reliant Stadium in Houston. Believe it or not, on the call for this game, it'll be Beth Mowins alongside of Ross Tucker and Amanda Balionis. Houston opening up as a 7-point favorite. And in the series history between these two AFC South rivals, it actually favors Tennessee 24-22. Both teams split last season. Both teams winning on the road. So Tennessee actually won in Houston last year, 32-27. Houston's last home win against Tennessee was 2023, and that was a 26-3 beatdown. So let's get into our Zonk game of the week with Tennessee and Houston. The Texans defense is allowing 17 points a game, tied for the 5th best average in the league. Houston's pass rush has also generated 9 sacks, tied for 4th best in the NFL, which presents a tough challenge for a Titans offense that has scored only 17 points a game and has allowed a league worst 15 sacks. The Titans hope new play caller Bo Hardigree can have an impact similar to when he took over as the interim offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders in 2023 and helped boost Las Vegas's average points per game by 7. Expect some extra juice between Texans wide receiver Nico Collins and Titans cornerback L'Jarius Sneed. Sneed, when asked about Collins earlier this week, said, "Who?" in a dismissive way. When Collins was asked about Sneed's comments, he said, "He knows who I am," as the Texans try to get their last-ranked scoring offense going. Expect Collins to do everything in his power to get the unit some juice. The Texans have yet to score 20 points in a game this season. The last time Houston scored less than 20 points in each of the first 4 games of a season was their inaugural season, their debut season, all the way back in 2002. But the FPI likes Houston. FPI gives Houston the FPI edge, 69% going with Houston. And I am going to go with Houston to win as well. I think Houston finally gets off the schneid here. 27-17. Give me Houston to defeat Tennessee. So not much more. Michael Bullock, Tennessee and Houston. Zonk game of the week. Both teams 0-3. Who's going to get off the schneid?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, both are winless, but yeah, I think Houston, they bounce back. They get their first win of the season, and they get off the schneid. Wow. Well, it continue. I think it's going to continue for the Tennessee Titans. So, give me the Texans to win this one. So, let's move on to our next game.
All right, all right, Bullock. I believe your team's up next. I believe it's your team's turn here. Okay, here we go. Yes, it is. Back over on the Fox side of the ledger, as it will be the Carolina Panthers squaring off against Michael Bullock's New England Patriots from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. And on the call for that game, it will be Chris Myers, Mark Schlereth, and Jen Hale. New England. Good news, Bullock. Your Patriots are opening up as a 5.5-point favorite in this one. And the series history between these two teams, as soon as I have it here. Okay, here we go. Regular season-wise, Carolina leads the all-time series 4-3. Of course, these two teams gave us one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time in Super Bowl 38 in Houston. I mean, I remember that game vividly, and as does Bullock, I know. That's what immediately comes to mind when you hear Carolina and New England. You can't help but think about that Super Bowl. 4-3 is the regular season series edge for Carolina. Last meeting was 2021 in Charlotte, New England winning 24-6. Last meeting in Foxborough, Carolina stole one in Foxborough in 2017, 33-30. And New England's last home win against Carolina was in 2009. 20-10 was the final there. All right, Bullock, Carolina and New England. Carolina getting their first win last week. They smashed Atlanta 30-0. Your Patriots, I got to be honest with you. I got to consider this a must-win game because, God forbid, man, you lose to Carolina and then have to deal with Buffalo next week. Well, I'm sorry to say it, man. You're in trouble.
Oh yeah, I would think so too. I mean, they have to win this game because if they don't, they could be staring at maybe 1-4 because I mean, there's no way they're going to beat this Buffalo Bills team come next week. I'm already calling it right here for you. But you never know. We'll see. But for right now, yeah, they have to win this, especially after the way things went. I mean, they should have won that game last week. but it was all those fumbles, especially two right near the goal line, that really, really killed them. So, yeah, I got New England winning this one, so it is yours.
Yeah. Panthers tight end Tommy Tremble referred to the height rookie wide receiver Tetarayoa McMillan reached for a 4-yard catch from quarterback Bryce Young against Atlanta as quote unquote Mario jumping. To which McMillan insisted this isn't Mario ball. Sunday's game will not be either. It'll be one in the trenches, where it'll be strength against strength, as Carolina will want to run against the New England defense that's allowing only 60.3 rushing yards a game. Patriots coach Mike Vrabel said he spent 2 hours Tuesday night studying the Panthers' kickoff coverage, which includes knuckleball kicks from Ryan Fitzgerald. They've proved challenging for opposing returners to handle. He said it's impressive. He kicks a good kick, a dirty kick. He's had the returners sometimes confused, said Vrabel, who believes Patriots returners Travion Henderson and Antonio Gibson have the skill set to decide games. But the New England kick return unit was outplayed in its Week 3 loss to Pittsburgh. Bryce Young is 1-14. Listen to that. Bryce Young is 1-14 in his first career 15 road starts. Tied with Steve DeBerg, Dan Pastorini, and Blake Bortles for the second worst record by a quarterback through his first 15 road starts since starts were first tracked in 1950. Small bit of good news here for Bullock here. It's not an overwhelming FPI, but the FPI gives the edge to New England, but it's only 56% going with New England. And I'm going to go with New England to win this game as well. To get off the schneid in Gillette Stadium. New England wins. I'm going to say final score is going to be 24-20. I think New England will pull it out. So definitely a must win for them, because if they lose this game and then have to go to Buffalo next Sunday night as we get to see those sweet new cold front rivalry uniforms, oh boy, that's all I can say. So we'll see what happens. So, but I'm going to go with New England as well. I think they'll pull it out 24-20. All right. Moving on back to our side, going back to our side of the ledger. We got 2 early games left. This game comes in as I believe this game came in as our number 8 game of the week on CBS, as it will be the Los Angeles Chargers squaring off against the New York Giants from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey in the Meadowlands. It'll be Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins on the call for CBS. The Chargers opening up as 6.5-point favorites, and the series history, it favors, got it here somewhere. Okay. It favors the Chargers. Chargers lead the all-time series 8-5. Last meet, and matter of fact, the Chargers actually have a winning streak. They've won the last 5 meetings in a row against the Giants. Their last meeting was 2021 in Los Angeles. Chargers won 37-21. Last meeting in New York, 2017. Chargers won that one 27-22. The Giants last beat the Chargers all the way back in 1998, and they did so in San Diego, 34-16. Their last home win against the Chargers, their Super Bowl season of 1986, 20-7 at the old Giants Stadium. So Chargers and Giants next up on the docket here, and here we go. Chargers linebacker Dayon Henley said the defense is taking Sunday's matchup against Giants rookie quarterback Jackson Dart as a challenge. This is going to be a guy that's trying to prove something. And so for us, we have to also prove how tough of a defense we are to face, Henley said. So for us, he's going to get our best, and I'm sure we're going to get his. The Chargers are currently allowing the 9th lowest passing yards a game on defense, at 182. The Giants made the quarterback switch from Russell Wilson to Jackson Dart this week, even though they're set to face a tough Charger defense. But the hope is that the rookie adds some new elements to the offense and finally gets the team in the win column. Jackson Dart said, I think the biggest thing for me is I want to do my best to be a spark. I want to create excitement on the field. I want to be explosive when opportunities are there. Try to just bring a little bit of swagger. Quarterbacks making their first career start against the Chargers are 3-17 in the Super Bowl era since 1967, but 2-2 in such games since 2019. Another high FPI, this one to the Chargers, 76% going with the Los Angeles Chargers to win this game, and I too am going with the Los Angeles Chargers to win this game. I think they keep up their hot start here. I'm going to go 30-17. The Chargers defeat the Giants. So, not much more here. Michael Bullock, Chargers and Giants. Number 8 game of the week. For the Giants, Russell Wilson out, Jackson Dart in, while the Chargers look to keep their hot start going.
Yeah, I expect them to keep this hot start going. I mean, with the way they're playing right now, and I'm interested to see what Jackson Dart can do for this for the Giants now as the starter. So we'll see. But at the end of the day, it's going to be all Chargers all day. So let's move on.
And we have one final game in the early window, and it's the big one. The game of the week on the NFC side of the ledger. Maybe even the game of the week, if you think about it, based on the records. Your reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. The A-team, Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi. And the spread favors Philadelphia. Philadelphia opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. And how close is it between these two teams? The regular season series between them is tied 9-9. So whoever wins will take the series lead. Last meeting was last year in Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay won that game by a score of 33-16. Eagles' last win in Tampa was the year before, 2023, 25-11, before Tampa Bay smashed them in the playoff game, 32-9. All right, Bullock, here you go. Your boy, Tom Brady, alongside of Kevin Burkhardt, they're going to be calling this. The game of the week. Both teams are 3-0. Possible playoff preview, you never know. Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, NFC game of the week. Who you got?
Yeah, this definitely is going to be a good one here, and could be another maybe possible playoff preview somewhere down the line. But oh man, this is really tough. I mean, so I'm. Oh, this is a tough. This is a game that could basically go either way.
Absolutely.
I mean, oh, this is tough to call, but I gotta go with the champs here. I have to go with them. I mean, you know the old saying. I mean, until you beat the champs, you can never bet against them. So I'm going with Tampa to win, but I'm going with Philadelphia to win, but I would not at all be surprised if Tampa pulls this one out. So it is yours, Florio.
And there is something to think about, though. The Eagles are 1-3 in Tampa Bay under coach Nick Sirianni and have not been their best in the Florida heat. They flew out today, a day early, to get acclimated to the weather. It's supposed to be 90 degrees with 68% humidity on Sunday. But not everyone is convinced the approach will pay dividends. Defensive coordinator Vic Fangio said you don't practice in heat one day and say you're acclimated, or take a pill and say you're acclimated. The key will be, it's a mindset. Number one. Number two, we need to not let them have 8, 10, 12 play drives on us. Buccaneers coach Todd Bowles was asked about being a hero to the people of Philadelphia because he has come out in support of the tush push. The Elizabeth, New Jersey native and Temple grad who spent one season as an assistant in Philly joked, "I think the only place I might be a hero is at Ishkabibbles down on South Street getting the cheesesteak. Other than that, it's a good play. It's a creative play for them, and we've got to get better as defensive coaches trying to be creative to stop it." Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts is 1-4 in his career against the Buccaneers, including the playoffs, his most losses versus any team. But despite that, the FPI gives a slight edge to Philadelphia. Only 55% going with Philadelphia, but I'm going to go with Philadelphia to win this game as well. My final score, high scoring game, 34-27, Philadelphia over Tampa Bay. That's going to be a fun game. Can't wait. All right, so I do believe that concludes our early game coverage, and now we're going to get into the late games now. We got four of them. We got two 405 games on Fox and two 425 games on CBS. And we're going to get into the 405 games on Fox first. And we got another good one here. The Indianapolis Colts squaring off against the Los Angeles Rams, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. And on the call for Fox for this game will be Kevin Kugler, Daryl Moose Johnston, and Allison Williams. And the spread favors the Rams. The Rams opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. And the series history between these two, it favors the Colts. The Colts lead the regular season series 23-21 with 2 ties. However, the Rams have won the last 4 meetings in a row against the Colts, including a 29-23 overtime win in Indianapolis in their last meeting in 2023. The last time they met in LA was in 2017, and the Rams absolutely smashed the Colts 46-9. The Colts last beat the Rams in 2009, 42-6. That was in St. Louis. Their last win in Los Angeles was all the way back in 1969, 13-7. So, Colts and Rams to kick off our late game window here. All right. Just bear with me for a moment. Okay. The Colts have enjoyed great rushing success so far, with star running back Jonathan Taylor leading the NFL with 338 yards. But the Rams offer a stiff test, having allowed just 1 rushing touchdown and a 3.9 yards per rush. Whether Taylor and the Colts can achieve some rushing consistency will have an impact on how successful their surprisingly efficient passing game can remain. The Colts have achieved great offensive balance, but whether Taylor can find running lanes against a tough defensive front remains to be seen. The Rams have 12 sacks this season, which is tied with Denver for the most in the NFL. Colts quarterback Daniel Jones has been sacked only twice, which is the fewest among qualified quarterbacks, according to ESPN research. Rams coach Sean McVay noted the efficiency the Colts have played with this season, saying, "They're not playing behind the sticks. He's obviously got the mobility to be able to make you pay as a runner, but I think he's reading well with his feet," McVay said of Daniel Jones. He throws the ball with great accuracy and anticipation. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford co-leads the NFL in completions, 29, passing touchdowns, 4 with 0 interceptions, and first downs, 17 on play action this season. Meanwhile, Indianapolis's defense has 10 interceptions on play action throws under coach Shane Steichen since 2023, tied for second most over that span. The FPI, it's another slight FPI, but they give it to the LA Rams here. The Rams have the FPI edge, 56%, going with the Los Angeles Rams. And I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams to win this game. My final score, 31-27. I like the Los Angeles Rams to defeat the Indianapolis Colts, but I would not at all be surprised if the Colts actually stole this one at SoFi. So not much more to say. Bullock, Colts, Rams. You talk about the Colts. The Colts, the biggest surprise in the NFL, but this is easily going to be their toughest game yet. You got to go to SoFi. You got to go against the Rams. Can the Colts keep this magical start going, or do the Rams bring them back to reality?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they're going to get brought back to reality here because this is the Rams you're dealing with here, and like you said, this is going to be their toughest opponent, and I think this is where they're going to finally get their first loss of the season. So I'm going with the LA Rams to win this one. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on to our next late game.
The other 405 game on Fox, another good one here. It will be the Jacksonville Jaguars squaring off against the San Francisco 49ers from the home of Super Bowl 60, Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Calling the game on Fox will be Anna Mamine, Mark Sanchez, and Christina Pink. San Francisco opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. San Francisco leads the all-time series 5-2. Here's the thing. Jacksonville won the first two meetings. The 49ers have won the last 5, including the last one in Jacksonville in 2023. San Francisco smashed them 34-3. Last meeting in San Francisco, 2017, 49ers won a high-scoring game, 44-33. Jaguars have never won in San Francisco. Michael Bullock, San Francisco's 3-0, despite all these injuries. But they did get some good news. Their franchise quarterback, Brock Purdy, is back.
Yeah, that's going to be big to have Brock Purdy back. But yeah, for them to basically start 3-0 with all these injuries, that I mean, it's like they're reliving last year all over again. I mean, yes, they're 3-0, but there's going to come a point in time where the injuries are going to once again catch up to this team. I don't know when, but I could definitely tell you this right now, Florio. It's not going to be this week because I got the San Francisco 49ers coming out and winning this game against Jacksonville. So give me the 49ers. It's yours, Florio.
Drops. Drops have been the topic of the week. That's understandable as the Jaguars lead the league with 10 and are coming off a week in which they dropped 6, including 3 by wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. Coach Liam Cohen's message to the pass catchers, attack the ball. He wants them to catch the ball out in front of their bodies and not let it cross their eyes. Drops are one of the main reasons the passing offense has not gotten into rhythm yet. The 49ers have spent the week trying to figure out how to cover for the loss of star defensive end Nick Bosa, who is out for the season with a torn ACL. Losing Nick is a big deal, linebacker Fred Warner said. That's one of the best players, not just on our team, but on the planet. We've got to find ways to continue to create those pressures. One possibility, an increased blitz rate. In the 97 games the Niners have played with Bosa, they've blitzed only 20% of the time. In the 18 games they've played without him, that number has spiked to 31.9%. That could help against Jacksonville and quarterback Trevor Lawrence, who has thrown 13 interceptions when blitzed since 2021, tied for third most among qualified quarterbacks in that span. Niners running back Christian McCaffrey has had 50 rushing yards and 50 receiving yards in each game this season. He is seeking to become the second player in NFL history to start a season with 4 such consecutive games. Very small FPI here. This is almost, it almost has the sense of a pick'em here, but not quite. Very small edge to San Francisco. They're only giving San Francisco 51%, but the FPI does give it to San Francisco. And I'm going to go with San Francisco to win this game as well. I'm going to say 23-17, San Francisco stays unbeaten, defeats Jacksonville in what should be another very good matchup. And now we move on to the 425 games on CBS. When the schedule came out in May, there is no doubt in our minds that we had this game circled as our game of the week. But unfortunately, because of the records, this game comes in at number 5 on our side of the ledger. It's our number 5 game of the week when it really, honestly, should be the game of the week, in all honesty, because of who's playing in this game. The Baltimore Ravens squaring off against the Kansas City Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. And on the call for CBS, hello, friends. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. The spread favors Baltimore. Baltimore opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. In the series history, regular season-wise, it favors Kansas City, 8-4. Their last meeting was last year in Kansas City, opening night, the very first game of last season, that Thursday night opener. Kansas City winning by a toe. You remember that one, when Isaiah Likely's toe was graced the out-of-bounds mark. Kansas City held on for a 27-20 win in Arrowhead. The Ravens last beat the Chiefs in 2021 in Baltimore, 36-35, that wild and crazy Sunday night game. Baltimore has not won in Kansas City since 2012. 9-6 was the final in that one, a 9-6 defensive battle for MF. So it's hard to believe that this game only came in as our number 5 game. When in all honesty, it should be the game of the week. But alas, here we are. Both teams are 1-2. So here you go. The Ravens defense, which ranks last in the NFL for the first time since 2021, now faces its most challenging quarterback. The Ravens are 1-5 versus Patrick Mahomes, including the playoffs, who has thrown 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions against the Baltimore defense. I think one thing we touched on was just staying on your feet when he pump fakes, outside linebacker Odafe Owa said. And then when you get there, try to hit him legally as you can in today's NFL. We have to respect his playmaking ability. Following their first win last Sunday night at the Giants, the Chiefs are looking to have a complete performance on offense against the Ravens, hoping to build off the strong second half they had against the Giants. The return of speedy wide receiver Xavier Worthy should also help. Mahomes said it's going to make us even better because guys had to step up, and they have. You've seen Hollywood Brown, you've seen Juju Smith-Schuster, and you've seen Tyquan Thornton all step up into their roles. We'll continue to get better and better as the season goes, but it will be an important week this week. The Ravens have scored 111 points this season, which is the most by a team with a losing record through 3 games in NFL history. The most points by a team with a losing record through 4 games is 140 by the 2022 Detroit Lions, who finished that season 8-9 and missed the playoffs. This is the true definition of a pick'em game. The FPI gives it to Baltimore 50.3%. That's it. 50.3. It's almost a coin toss here. But based on what I've seen, I got to be honest. I got to go with Baltimore here. I think Baltimore finds the way to win. I'm going to take a chance and go with Baltimore here. I mean, would I be surprised if Kansas City wins? No, certainly not. But I'm going to go with Baltimore to win this one. 31-26, Baltimore steals one in Arrowhead against Kansas City. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, when the schedule came out in May, when we did our big schedule release show like we always do, we had this game circled as our game of the week. But because of how the records are, we only put this at number 5, both teams at 1-2. So it's a must win for both teams. The winner should be fine, but the loser of this game is going to be 1-3. Yikes.
Yeah, that's not good. So that's why it's a big game for both teams. So yeah, I mean, I really don't know what's going to happen with this. So, but yeah, I'm actually going to go with the Baltimore Ravens to beat Kansas City. I just think they're more better than what Kansas City is presenting. So give me the Ravens. It is yours, Florio.
The other 4th and our final 8 game, our number 6 game of the week, the Chicago Bears squaring off against the Las Vegas Raiders, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Spiro Ditas, Anna Marcelletta, Aditi Kinkabuela on the call for CBS. And believe it or not, Las Vegas is actually opening up as a 1-point favorite. Hard to believe, but it's true. Chicago, though, leads the all-time series 9-8. The Bears have won the last 2 meetings in a row. Last one was in Chicago in 2023. Bears won 30-12. Last meeting in Vegas was 2021. Chicago won that one 20-9. Raiders' last win against the Bears was 2019 in London, 24-21. The Raiders last beat the Bears at home in Oakland in 2011, 25-20. Bullock, number 6 game of the week. Chicago, coming off their first win, smashing Dallas. And Las Vegas, they stole one in Foxborough in week 1, and then they got smashed by the Chargers in week number 2, and then they got smashed again by Washington last week. So Chicago, Vegas, who you got?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting match here, but I think to me and yeah, what was the game?
It's the Chicago Bears against the Las Vegas Raiders, our number 6
I got to go with the Chicago Bears to win this one. I just think they're the better team, and look, after what happened the last 2 games with Vegas, yeah, that's not good. So give me. So yeah, I really got nothing more to say on this one. So it is yours, Florio.
You got cut off a little bit. Who did you go with? You went with Chicago. That's what you went with.
Chicago.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay. Bears coach Ben Johnson tried to recognize quarterback Caleb Williams for being named NFC Offensive Player of the Week, but the quarterback wasn't having it. Williams had quickly turned his focus from the Bears' first win of the season to the Raiders and the things he can carry over from his second ever game with 4 touchdowns. Johnson said he knows he needs to have an even better performance here this week to give us the best chance to win. Chicago's offensive output is significantly less on the road, 15.9 points a game, 1-8 with Williams at quarterback. But the way Williams is playing, 18 touchdowns and 2 interceptions over his last 14 starts, has him vying for the second road victory of his career. Could Raiders rookie running back Ashton Gianti's breakout game come against the Bears? The opportunity is there. Chicago enters Sunday's matchup, allowing 5.5 rushing yards a carry, 31st in the league. Gianti, on the other hand, has averaged 3.1 yards a carry through 3 games, even though he has flashed the skill set that made him worthy of being a top 10 pick. He has not impacted the run game as expected. Quarterback Geno Smith said, "I think he's right where he needs to be. We have to help him because when he gets an open field, man, he's hard to stop. So we've just got to get him into some more space and allow him to do his thing." Last week was the first game of Caleb Williams' career where he was not sacked. Chicago is now seeking to have consecutive games without allowing a sack for the first time since November of 2005. Another very close FPI. 51% going with Chicago. And I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears to win this game. I'm going to go 34-24. Chicago defeats Las Vegas. And now we get into the primetime games, starting off with Sunday Night Football. Our number 2 game of the week. We put this game at number 2. We cross-flex this one as well because the story is just too big. It's so big it writes itself. We got the Green Bay Packers squaring off against the Dallas Cowboys, AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas, Jerry World. It's Sunday Night Football on NBC. You already know who's working that. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, and Melissa Stark. Green Bay opening up as a 7-point favorite. Green Bay leads the all-time regular season series 17-13. The Packers have won the last 5 meetings in a row, including playoffs. Their last meeting was the divisional playoff, or should I say the wild card playoff. In January of 2024, Green Bay went into Dallas and beat the Cowboys 48-32. They were the 7 seed, and they went in there and upset the number 2 seed Dallas 48-32. Last regular season meeting in Dallas was 2019. Green Bay also won that one 34-24. The Cowboys have not beaten the Packers at home, believe it or not, since 2007. 37-27 at the old Texas Stadium. So not much more to add on here. We all know what the story is when it comes to this matchup. The return of Micah Parsons. The Packers have had all kinds of injury issues on the offensive line. They finished last week's loss without right tackle Zach Tom with an oblique injury and left guard Aaron Banks with a groin. And the Browns pressured quarterback Jordan Love at a 42% rate, the highest of his career, and made it impossible for running back Josh Jacobs to run. He only had 16 carries for 30 yards. Green Bay could be without both linemen again on Sunday night, but Elgton Jenkins, the Pro Bowl guard who moved to center this offseason, believes he could have helped had he played better. I feel like I played like expletive, honestly, Jenkins said. Like I can play a lot better. A lot of things, a lot of small detailed things that I can fix overall. But I just feel like I played like bleep and definitely got to play better moving forward. Maybe you've heard that edge Micah Parsons is returning to AT&T Stadium with the Packers this week. But inside the Cowboys locker room, it's not a topic the players discuss unless asked about it by the media. Defensive tackle Solomon Thomas said, "We love Micah. He was a brother here of ours, and we wish him the best, and so happy for him that he got record-breaking money, and he deserves all that money. But as a team, we're not even thinking about that. We're thinking about Green Bay, getting better from Chicago, fixing those mistakes, and on Sunday night, it's another championship opportunity to be our best. That's all we're focused on." Micah Parsons makes his return to Dallas as a league co-leader with 14 quarterback pressures this season, tied with Buffalo's Joey Bosa and Denver's Nick Benito, and as the sole leader in pass rush wins with 17. The FPI goes with Green Bay, 60% going with Green Bay, and I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers to win this game as well. My final score, I am going to go 27-24. Green Bay wins in Dallas. So not much more to say. Bullock, the story writes itself. Number 2 game of the week, and this is the reason why we cross-flexed it as our number 2 game of the week. Micah Parsons returning to Dallas as a Green Bay Packer, but Dallas will be without their star receiver, CeeDee Lamb. He is out.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, the big story, like you said, is Micah Parsons returning to Dallas as a Green Bay Packer, and yeah, what will the reaction be? So we're gonna find out, but Green Bay, they're gonna be looking for a really big bounce back after losing to the Cleveland Browns last week. So that being said, I think they will bounce back. I mean, the CeeDee Lamb injury, I think, is going to really hurt the Cowboys. And yeah, I got the Green Bay Packers winning this. So let's move on to our Monday Night Football doubleheader.
The first game of that Monday Night doubleheader will take place at 7:15 p.m. on ESPN. It's our number 9 game of the week, co-zonk game of the week, if you will. But Tennessee and Houston is the more zonk game of the week. But this is also you could also consider this a zonk as well, because both of these teams are 0-3. AFC East divisional matchup, the New York Jets squaring off against the Miami Dolphins, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Chris Fowler, Dan Orlovsky, Louis Riddick, alongside of Peter Schrager and Katie George. Miami opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. Miami leads the regular season series 60-57 with a tie. And both teams split last year, but Miami won in Miami 32-26 in overtime. Matter of fact, the Dolphins have actually have a very substantial winning streak against the Jets at home. The Jets have not won in Miami. Believe it or not, the Jets have not won in Miami since 2014. 37-24 was the final. But then again, in 2015, they played in London. But 2014, the last time the Jets actually left Miami with a win. So every year since 2016, the Dolphins have beaten the Jets at home. So So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Jets, Dolphins, number 9 game of the week. Somebody gets their first win, and somebody will also manage to stay out of the basement in the AFC East. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, and of course, let's not forget also, of course, no Justin Fields for
That's right. Justin
the
Fields out
Jets.
again.
So
Tyrod Taylor.
It's going to be Tyrod Taylor again. So yeah, and I think this is something. I mean, Miami really needs this game because I'll tell you, if they lose this one, that hot seat for Mike McDaniel is only going to get hotter, and at some point, it could be a matter of time before Mike McDaniel loses his job. So they really need this game. So give me the Miami Dolphins to win this one. So it is yours.
Hey, Miami came very close the last 2 weeks. I mean, they gave your Patriots Fitz Bullock, and they gave my Bills Fitz last week as well. But our respective teams got the job done at the end. So let's see what happens here. It seems likely Jets quarterback Justin Fields with a concussion will return to the lineup soon. This was an earlier set of notes here, so keep in mind that's what I'm going off of here. If he does return for week 4, Fields will need the support of a strong rushing attack, something the Jets have not had since week 1 against Pittsburgh. Running back Breece Hall has struggled in the last 2 games, 2.6 yards a carry. So don't be surprised that Braylon Allen, 5.1 yards a carry, sees an increased role. Coach Aaron Glenn noted that reestablishing the ground game is imperative. Dolphins tight end Darren Waller, with a hip injury, has practiced all week and is expected to make his season debut on Monday night. His coaches and team have noted the size at 6'6" and 238 pounds and physicality he brings to an offense that could use both. Wide receiver Malik Washington said that dude walks around, he looks like a tower over guys. So with his ability to catch the ball, his ability to run routes, and his ability to block and be on his assignment, we've seen it in practice and stuff. I think adding him to the element, that just adds another playmaker to our team. Both the Dolphins and Jets are 0-3 and have 0 takeaways this season. It's the first season since turnovers became official in 1933 that multiple teams are 0-3 with 0 takeaways. The FPI slight edge to the Miami Dolphins, 55% going with the Miami Dolphins. And I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins to win this game as well. I'm going to go 20-17. Miami gets off the schneid. They beat the Jets and get that elusive first win. And with that, we move on to our final game of the night, the other half of the Monday Night Football doubleheader. 8:15 kickoff on ABC. And this game comes in as our number 3 game of the week. The Cincinnati Bengals squaring off against the Denver. And by the way, when it comes to that Jet Dolphin game, if you don't have ESPN, for the people of New York, you can watch the game on WWOR My Channel 9. And for Miami, you can watch it on your CBS affiliate, WFOR CBS Channel 4 in Miami. So that's where you can watch it for New York and Miami if you don't have ESPN. Now then, to the number 3 game of the week, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Denver Broncos from Empower Field at Mile High in Denver, 8:15 on ABC. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Lisa Salters, Laura Rutledge. Denver opening up as a 7.5-point favorite, and the series history between these two, it looks like it favors Denver. Yes, Denver. Denver leads the all-time series 22-12, but the Bengals have won the last 2 meetings in a row, including a 30-24 overtime win and a wild, a crazy game last December on that as part of that NFL Network triple header on that Saturday near the end of the season. Cincinnati stealing that one 30-24 in overtime. Cincinnati also won their last meeting in Denver, a 15-10 win in 2021. Denver's last home win against the Bengals was 2015, a 20-17 overtime win. So there, there's not much more to add on to it. So let's get to our final game of the night. This is not the week to be facing a strong Denver front, as the Bengals are once again trying to find a solution at right guard. Cincinnati rookie Jalen Rivers finished last week's game at that spot in place of Dalton Risner, who is likely on the outside of that starting spot. That makes Rivers the fourth player giving it a shot. Lucas Patrick is currently on injured reserve with a calf injury. This is something to watch out for, as the Broncos' Nick Bonito is fourth in the league in pass rush win rate at 29.8% as an edge rusher. The Broncos certainly have emotional band-aids from back-to-back losses. On each game's last play over the last 2 weeks, the defense could not get the slam-the-door stops it needed. But in reality, the offense should bear the most scrutiny. The team is 27th in third down conversions, 19th in offensive EPA, and quarterback Bo Nix is 25th in QBR. And last week, the Broncos had 7, you read that right, 7 possessions go for 10 or fewer yards. 4 of those went for 1 yard, no gain or negative yardage. Toss in the fact the Broncos are the 4th most penalized team in the league, and you have the recipe for a team that has yet to find the fast start Coach Sean Payton tried to construct. Entering week 4, the Broncos lead the league in pass block win rate at 75%. The Bengals rank last in that category at 45%. The FPI loves Denver in this one. They're giving Denver the FPI 72% going with Denver, and I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos to win this game as well. I think they'll pull away late. I'm going to go 33-17. Denver defeats Cincinnati on Monday night. So not much more to say except take us home, Bullock. Cincinnati and Denver.
Yeah, I'm going to take it home right here and basically say I got the Denver Broncos winning this one. I think they'll be able to handle their business here, so give me Denver to win. So that being said, let's put a ball on this Florio and set up the what's to come for the future content.
All right, and here is that future content. First of all, that will put the bow on this Week 4 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in, as always. We will be back with you again tomorrow night at 10 p.m. over on MF's channel, Braves Fan 95, for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. And we are going to cover TNA Impact, Friday Night SmackDown, and NXT No Mercy. So that's all going to go down tomorrow night on MF's channel, Braves Fan 95. MF will be back. So can't wait to see him. Can't wait to be back on with him. We've missed him the last couple of nights. These shows are not the same without him, but you know, it is what it is. So we all have commitments and other things outside of this. So absolutely perfectly understandable. No doubt about it. So can't wait to have you back, MF. Yep. So that'll be tomorrow night. And then Tuesday night, we do it all over again. We have Ridiculously Raw. We got Monday Night Raw, NXT. I will have the results of the Victory Road special from TNA. And we will also preview the next Thursday night football game, another good one here. The San Francisco 49ers squaring off against the Los Angeles Rams from SoFi Stadium. We'll get into that on Tuesday. And then we have, on Thursday, believe it or not already, the Week 6 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. And then 1 week from tonight, it will be the Week 5 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. And guess what? Next week, we start the bye weeks. The bye weeks start next week. And on bye next week, I can confirm it will be the Atlanta Falcons, the Chicago Bears, the Green Bay Packers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. You will not see them next week. We'll recap the 49ers and the Rams. We also have the second international game, the Minnesota Vikings and the Cleveland Browns from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Other notable games, not really many notable games. We got the Denver Broncos against the Philadelphia Eagles, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Seattle Seahawks, the Detroit Lions against the Cincinnati Bengals, Washington Commanders against the LA Chargers, Sunday Night Football, Buddy Bowl, Bullock's Patriots against my Buffalo Bills, where both teams will don the special cold front rivalry uniforms. Get a look at those. They are absolutely sweet on both sides of the ball. And then Monday Night Football, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So those are some of the notable games we'll get into next week, although we'll get into all of them. So, and that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF's channel, BraceFan95, this is Anthony Florio here for Michael Bullock. And in spirit, good old MF, Michael Fletcher. And of course, our First Lady, always and forever, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Saturday. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching the Week 4 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streaming.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody. Bye.